Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about constructors. In programming, constructors are operations that create a new instance of a class. Now, if you don't know what a class is an unstructured data type where there can be both member functions and data within the class. Now, what this means for us is that both the data and the member functions can be manipulated, but they have to be bound within that specific structure, i.e. the class. Now that I've told you what exactly a programming class is, and as well as what a constructor is, I'm going to show you how a constructor is implemented, as well as what it will look like within a class. So one thing to note is the fact that this says class over here means that this is a specific C++ class. You need to write the data type class followed by what you want your class name to be. Now, it's good programming practice to have both a specification file and an implementation file, i.e. having a .h file and having a .cpp file. So here what we have is we have our .h file, which is our specification file. Now our specification file will tell us what exactly we want our class to do. Now, in this class we have three member functions as well as our constructor. We have a walking function, a talking function, and a thinking function. Now, in order to note that we have a constructor, you need to write what the class's name is followed by these two parentheses. This will indicate to the compiler that this is your constructor. So now that I've told you how to create a constructor, I'm now going to show you how to implement a structure. Now, as you can see, right here we have our class name, person, followed by this symbol right here. Now that is what we call binary scope resolution operator. And what that does is it tells that this function right here, and in this case the constructor, is within the scope of this class. So of course we have our constructor, which we already showed in our specification file. And now what you see with this constructor is that it's blank. Now what this means is that when we instantiate this constructor, i.e. we're going to instantiate an object of the class, we are not going to initialize anything. So let me show you an example of how to initialize something. Now, what this means is that, let's say we have a data type called steps. Now, what's going to happen is whenever we have an object that's instantiated, that's a person object, it's going to then initialize steps to equal 0 for all the rest of the functions that are within the class. Lastly, whenever you're writing classes and you're using both an implementation and a specification file, you always want to include your .h file within your .cpp file, or include your specification file within your implementation file. And you do this using the £, followed by include, followed by quotations of whatever your class's header file's name is, the .h file.